Do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Well, we are here live and in living color. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
This is Dee.
And we're the authors of the book, Make Love.
Make money.
Make it last. 10 secrets to shape a great marriage. And we are live in living color coming to you from our office. We are just getting back from 2 weeks away and we had a wonderful vacation, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
All right. Because I got to be with you for 2 weeks uninterrupted. 2 weeks.
My.
With me and you.
Relationships.
You know what we tell people in the book? This is just first of all, welcome to everybody who's a first timer. And we're the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We just celebrated 38 years of marriage in June 28th. And so we tell people in the book how important it is to spend time with somebody you're thinking about marrying. How important.
What do you mean spend time with? You're not.
Well, we have in the book, there's a chapter. Oh, wow. Michael Muse said, much love. From reading your book, I'm now engaged. Praise God.
Praise
wow. Fantastic.
Thank you.
That's fantastic.
That.
That's great news. So, Best friends.
Is that so, Michael? Yes.
Yeah. My best friends, Michael. You want to be with the person. But we tell the people in the book, there's a chapter in the book for those not yet married. And we give you in the book some
suntan.
He said we have a suntan.
We wore sunscreen every day.
Yeah, we did.
Here's why.
Why?
Skin cancer.
Yeah. And
among people of color goes undetected.
Yes.
More often because we tend to think that we cannot burn or end up with skin cancer, and it ends up being more prevalent and more deadly.
Right.
So sunscreen everybody.
Yeah. So anyway, where was I? I was talking about the fact
friendship.
So in the book, there is a chapter for those not yet married, and we give some tests that you need to put these people through tests. If you're thinking about marrying them, we got a 3-day test, a 5-day test, a 30-day test. The 3-day test is you go away for 3 days, no sexual activity, because that clouds, you just want to be around them. You go to places, you eat dinner, you see how then a 5-day test where you're same, no sexual activity, you just together. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to do in the 30-day test. That's up to you. That's not me telling you one way or the other. I am telling you, though, in the 30-day test that you spend time in the same city. Because and why I'm so pressed about this is because it's been 40 years ago. I wasn't even dating you. Had a friend who was dating a woman, and they'd never lived in the same city. They'd gone to 2 different colleges. They'd see each other once a month on a weekend. When they graduated, he moved to Chicago. She was in DC, and they would meet up on weekends. She'd fly into Chicago on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then she had to fly back to go to work. Or he'd fly to DC on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, didn't go back. He had to go to work.
So every meeting was an event.
Dinner on Friday night, brunch on activities or theater on Saturday night, Sunday brunch, and then they fly off. Well, they finally got married and settled into Chicago. And that's when real life came to be. That's when real life, somebody got to go to the grocery store. Somebody has to do all those kind of things. So that's when real life came to be. And when real life came to be, they realized they didn't really like each other. And so it lasted less than a year.
Well, they didn't know each other.
They did not know each other. That's why we're saying in the book, 3-day test, 5-day test, 30-day test. You're in the same city with each other. You're around each other. You see peculiarities, things you might not like. Who gonna cook? Who gonna wash the dishes? Who's gonna make up the bed? Do you like the way they was one person leave their drawers in the middle of the floor? I'm gonna leave that alone because I know she would have something to say about me, but I had to develop that, and she worked on that. We worked it out together. We wanted to tell you some lessons about relationship we learned from Martha's Vineyard.
Or some observations.
Observations, that's right. And one of those was a very serious situation with a gentleman who was there with his children, but he and his wife are no longer. And the reason that they are no longer is because the wife I'm thinking how to tactfully talk about this situation.
Lied.
She lied, yeah. Here's what happened.
What had happened was
when he when he was dating or looking for a wife.
He was looking for a wife.
Terrence said one to sow to somebody else. Okay, premarital folks,
That's
one for
excellent.
one for you, for your significant other, and then one to sow into the life of somebody else. That great idea, Terrence. Get 3 copies. Y'all can go to jolleymarriage.com to get your copies, and we'll sign them. So this guy wrote a list of things that he was looking for in a wife.
And they also had a long distance relationship.
And they also had a long distance relationship. And she's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. He's a handsome guy, very successful. Well, one of the points on this list was a clear faith in God and a willingness to express that faith openly. But she was so beautiful. He let that lapse. Well, they get married. We met with them when they first got married. We went through our tips. Now, the tips that eventually came to book.
There was no book then.
There was no book then. Friends first. Make God an equal part of your marriage. Decide to make it last. Marriage is a decision. Love is an emotion. Marriage is a decision. Talk about everything. Number 5 is leave the drama with your mama. Decide how you're going to disagree. Sex. Talk about sex. Good, bad, and otherwise. And if there's a problem, fix it. Get help if necessary. 9 is always date your mate. And 10 is money matters. Well, they got married. And interesting enough, and Dee and I were always kind of, I don't want to say intrigued, that's a good word, that within a couple of years, they were talking about
intrigued. Grimace, I think, is a better word.
Doing marriage seminars. They were brand new marriages, but they're going to do marriage seminars. Well, they had a baby. A few years later, they had another baby. And then it started getting bad. This woman had a child when she was a teenager. She got married with the child that she brought to that marriage. She had another child, but she had a character flaw. And that character flaw was that she wasn't honest. And in that dishonesty also, there was this character flaw of not being faithful. Being faithful is part of honesty. Honesty is part
faithful, committed to one person.
Committed to one person. Because the second child, she and the husband divorced because of this dishonesty and because of her lack of being faithful.
I think you're very tactful. I wrote down, you have to study the person that you're premarital. I appreciate Terrence saying that people should get a copy of the book if you're thinking about premarital Because here's what you need to do. You really need to study and you need to investigate. That's where we are today.
Yes. You have to do your due diligence. Well,
You say you investigate this person. You're like, well, I'm in love. Marriage is a merger.
Hello,
so
Miss
you have to
White.
study and investigate.
Tara says she had several entanglements. Well, she had issues. Not being
I like
honest.
that. That's a nice word,
and
entanglement.
So what happened was she had the second child, and then he was making money. They had two homes. They had a city home and a country. I mean, suburban home, a city apartment and a suburban home. They had really nice life, but she wanted to party. She wanted to go out with her girls, and she did. And that led to entanglements and led to being unfaithful to her husband. And he kept saying, I want you to stay. I want you to work. I want this to work. And he did everything he could. He went to counseling. He bought the book. She wouldn't read the book, our book. She wouldn't even read our book. He called pastors. He called friends, but she was doing her thing. Well, he tried and it did not last. She wanted out. And the divorce cost about $250,000.
Wow.
For about $250,000. So we want to say that it takes the process.
You got to study the person.
Yes.
You can't study the person if you're only sleeping with them.
Yeah. So let's see. Pinky.
And then you have to investigate.
Pinky Tuscadero. Really indeed, finding trust is difficult. If you do not know the person, being friends first and knowing about each other is critical.
Absolutely. That's how you learn.
That's how you find out whether you trust the person, whether y'all are on the same wavelength.
And friends, developing a friend is still not the same thing as investigating.
Right.
That's another step, really. And some people might not want to deal with it. When I say investigate, what is their family like?
Right. Come closer, you got it, because you'll be.
Even to go and when they have informal get-togethers, watch what is the dynamic.
So we saw.
And to ask straightforward, probing questions, which is what I got a lot this week, because my husband put me on the spot, because he's always saying, because I'm demure, I'm quiet, I have very little to say. With all of these people, and I'm like, I'm just observing, because I'm watching the dynamics, because he's in the middle of everything. So it's good to step back and watch what's going on so you can study people and see really who they are.
Well, what was wonderful was this guy, when she decided to leave, he manned up, fought for the custody of his two children, got custody, and is raising those two children.
They're beautiful. Beautiful
kids, and he's a good man, and found a nice lady who also has been through a marriage situation, and they are dating, and
she has children.
And beautiful lady.
They seem to share the same values.
That's that next thing I wanted. Thank you, Dee, for bringing that up, because that was the next thing on my list. Values. That's to that 30 days. Talking about values. Well, are y'all on the same page?
That's the beginning, but that's what I'm saying, to investigate. You really do need to do that.
What do you believe? What do you stand on? What do you stand for? Now, another relationship situation from the Vineyard is a dear friend of mine who got married early in life, and the woman was, I don't want to call her crazy, but she was crazy. Crazy! Woo-woo! And he reminded me once, he reminded me yesterday, he said, you told me she was crazy when I was dating her. I did. We were young. We were in our 20s. I said, something is crazy about that woman. Something is crazy about that woman, man. You need to know. But she was so gorgeous. He was so smitten. He married her. And
how How long did that last?
I think about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And the crazy came out. Oh, it came out. Well,
It was probably already there, but he chose not to see it.
He chose not to see it.
Yes.
And again, you've got to find about values. Her values were not consistent with his. He was involved in the church. He was in charge in ministry. Well, but then
an investigation might have helped.
Or just spending some quality time with not the blinders on.
Did they live in the same city?
Yes, they did live in the same city. But that quality time. And then his father and mother said, I don't think she's the right one.
And he did not.
He did not listen. Folks, we've said it. Your parents are not always right. We know that. But you need to weigh their opinion more than you weigh the opinion of your friends or somebody else. You have weight to they know you. That's, the East Indians. We have friends who are East Indian. They choose to mate for their children because they know their children better than the children know themselves. Well, anyway, parents said, we don't think this is a good idea, but he went along with it. They lasted a year and a half. He was broken. She left him, and it was an ugly divorce. He started doing ministry and with his father in the church, and the father was a pastor. He started doing ministry for homeless, for people who were underserved. And a lady came who was a very successful lawyer to try and just be a blessing to others because God had blessed her so. And they started working together in this ministry for the homeless, for the underserved, and realized they had so much in common values-wise. And they enjoyed each other's company. They've now been married. I think she said,
I don't know.
28 years, I think they said.
That long?
Almost.
Wow.
And they have 2 children, and they are both successful, and they have a great marriage, and he even said
a great partnership.
Great partnership. And he said, I'm so grateful I found somebody who's my best friend. Again, goes back to we say it over and over again. Best friends, best friends, best friends. That you marry somebody, or you start with friends first. We say this over and over again because there are going to be lots of pretty people, pretty faces, boom, boom, bam, bam. There are going to be lots of nice cars, money, but somebody who you enjoy. And in the book, we talk about the guy who when she was working with AMA, the guy she taught in the class she was teaching.
Communication skills
for corporate execs. And she would talk about her husband and the relationship she and her husband had. And he didn't believe it. He said, I just don't believe that y'all could have this kind of friendship. And so he invited us to dinner. And we're expecting for him to come with his wife, who she had said he was married. And we get to the restaurant, fancy restaurant, and it's just him. And he said, you know what? I don't know how he said it, but he said, basically, my wife and I is a sham. It's a sham. I married a woman because I wanted to go up the corporate ladder who
he needed a wife to go up the
whoever was good looking, college. Yeah, was good looking, was cultured, and that's what I look for. Because somebody said, marry somebody who will help you go up the corporate ladder, which is what he did. They weren't best friends. They didn't have the same values. They really didn't even like each other. It was all cosmetic. It was a sham. And he said,
I don't know if they really.
He did say, we got nothing in common other than she shared ambitions.
They were both ambitious.
They were both ambitious, right? So, folks, friends first. So we don't want to say that. So these lessons from the Vineyard, we met a number of couples, people we met who are partners. The owner of this theater, Steve Capers, and his wife, partners.
He's an entrepreneur. She's an attorney.
Right.
She helped to negotiate the deal of the theater that they bought.
Right.
Which is a mainstay and very popular. The Strand.
And I performed there with my one-man show
last Wednesday,
and it was great. And by the way, for those who have been asking, we're going to relaunch it in the fall. Y'all gotta, if you're not
here in DC,
if you're not on my newsletter list, go to wjwow.com. wjwow.com. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll get updates on when we're going to do an event, and then also follow me on social media. So we're doing it in the fall. Well, we did the one-man show, at the Strand Theater in downtown Oak Bluffs in Martha's Vineyard. It was a great show. And this husband and wife, they are partners.
It seems like the couple who an entertainment attorney.
Oh, I was going there next.
Oh, okay.
So that was the first couple. Second couple, entertainment attorney, entrepreneur, wife. Is she attorney or corporate executive?
She's a corporate attorney.
Corporate attorney. And they also, people talked about their partnership. And I told them today, I talked to them before I left.
Okay.
I said, man, everybody
got each other's back.
They got each other's back.
That's very important.
And having each other's back. So we hope that y'all are hearing us. These are lessons, bad lessons that didn't work well because people didn't do the due diligence to take the time to make sure they're best friends.
And due diligence also means to study them and to investigate.
Yeah.
When I say investigate, backgrounds and stuff, not just who they are, but their family.
That's right. Last story, relationship. Dear friends who are two of the most wealthy people we know, who love God, work together, have built an empire that encapsulate, they own McDonald's restaurants. And not only do they build a family together and they work together and they fight together and they struggle together, they pray together, but they also raise their family together. And now the family is in the business and the grandchildren were there. Now we got to see, oh, you didn't see the grandchildren. I saw them while I was on the bike. And grandchildren, the daughter, her husband, her children, and they were all there at the compound together. It was a beautiful sight built on a good, strong mom and dad marriage that is growing an empire. So that's what we
Marriage
wanted.
and business.
Marriage and business. But it started with the marriage. Okay, then we go to chapter number 10 about the finances, that they work together and she controls what he does in terms of money, like you do with money. So we just want to say we learned a lot from great stories of relationships that really encapsulate the principles we talk about in the book. And then those that didn't use those principles or those values or those relationship recommendations.
But you know what? You can recover.
Oh, yeah, you can. You got one more story?
No, I was going to say, but you can recover.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Recovery is what some
Yes.
did.
Some did. Well, they had thought and recovered. One, the guy who had married the crazy woman, they have recovered, and boy, they got a strong marriage. They got a strong marriage. I mean, really strong marriage. And we were so glad to spend time with them and others. So we shout out our friends, Bradley and Terry Thomas, who are our vacation buddies. We've been vacationing together for 35 years. And they've been married for 39 years. We've been married for 38 years. And never seen them argue. They've never seen us argue. We have great time together, and humor is a big part of their marriage. When we talk about, they're written in the book. Humor. He always is cracking jokes. She said I could never be angry with him long because
but it's humor, but it's also mutual respect. Humor
mutual
is very
respect.
important.
Yep, mutual respect and mutual admiration and respect and trust. Okay, our time is almost up. I hope these have helped you. Here are the lessons we learned tonight. One, that we were in the vineyard and we learned a lot. Let's see what Pinky says. It has to be unconditional. Oh, you're right. The communication must be open and daily. Yep, right. And how do you maintain that balance? I guess I need to get your book. Oh, Kim and Paul Sadler say hello. Oh, we love them. You're in Cleveland with them, just in case. Robin, a.k.a. Pinky Tuscadero. We love Rob. When she says Pinky, I said, we were talking about you,
So
Robin.
We missed you.
We missed you. Terry and Brad asked about you. Where's Robin? Where's Robin? We love you, Robin Pinky Tuscadero. We talked about the Pilgrims. And you know that's from you. Everybody, the Pilgrims. We love you, Robin. Thank you for letting us know it was you. We love
Glad
you.
you're doing well.
Glad you're doing good. Terry asked about you over and over. Yes, we talked about one that with Robin State. Oh, we talked about you all week long. We're praying for Kim with her surgery and her new hip. Amen. And then Terrence, yep. He said, look, in his imagination, his wife is beautiful and
Makes seven
figures, and it's okay. Okay. So Terrence, thank you. Hope y'all enjoyed tonight. We're just getting off the plane. Wanted to respond about this trip from Martha's Vineyard. We had a great time. We will be doing my one-man show in Washington in the fall. If you don't have the marriage book, you can get it at jolleymarriage.com. And if you have marriage or relationship issues and need to repair them, we have a relationship repair series at Jolley Marriage/events. JolleyMarriage.com/events. The relationship repair series deals with communication issues, finances, sex, kids, and blended families. And we get a free extra bonus session on the 11 biggest mistakes that break up marriages.
Just get the book.
And Terrence said, just get the book.
Get
the book. Just get the book. Get 3 copies. One for you, one for your significant other, and one to sow into the life of somebody else. Hey, our time is up. We will see you next week. Much love to all of you. Pinky Tuscadero, we love you, Robin. Nazir White, and all of those who watch on the replay. I know Alice Davis in Atlanta does. Maybe Gladys Pemberton does as well, and many others. God bless y'all. We're back. We're ready to go to work. We've had a great vacation, and we'll see you soon. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
It's Steve. Jolley out.
Jolley out. We go out with my music from my one-man show.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.